less shields, things like that. We have boomerangs that won't stun, and potions that won't fill you up. Basically, you're starved for resources for a lot of the game. But you get up to 14 hearts. We got a couple of good runners here, so it won't hurt. It won't be too terrible later in the game, but the early game could be very interesting.
Yeah, very good indeed, I would say. Both of these runners are first and second in their group. I think they're even locked into to first and second as well. So they have definitely done a good job so far in the tournament. So we saw a map check there. Looked like Thieves Town and Skullwoods was, or was it Thieves Town and Meyer was pendants, and we had 5-6 Crystal at, was that Ice Palace and Pod, I think?
Yeah, I believe so. It was Meyer that I saw as a pendant. It was the green pendant as well. We saw Jim doing a tree pool, which is not as easy of a trick in the Dark World inverted, because you have a lot of dangerous things running around those trees, but he pulled it off, and now he's got to make it to Skullwoods. Gonna go farm some bombs, it looks like.
Yeah, and looks like Mikan was shaking a little bit more there in the south overworld, but not really finding any bombs or whatsoever as well, so probably gonna head to the same place here. Yeah, I'm taking a death warp in order to be able to farm some extra bombs here. There's only 2 bombs in all of these pots. So taking a death, it's a pretty good way to just get some more straight away. Ooh, nice. That Cane of Samaria in Skullwoods is gonna be pretty handy when going to the vanilla big key chest.
Yeah, sometimes people avoid that chest to start with because it's a little obnoxious to get, but that's definitely incentive to go that way. It's also a weapon to kill our favorite thief, the blind the thief with the 3 hearts is
Yeah.
With the cane, it's even harder, but it is frequently forced and inverted.
Yeah, that's usually the first things that comes up to most people's mind when they see an early weapon. Having those bombs though, Jim is gonna just head to Hype Cave, which is one of the most concentrated places with a chest that you can check early. Got a blue mail and a glove. Those are pretty nice pickups.
Yeah, and this being hard mode, that's going to be the only mail they'll see, but this early, that is something you definitely want to see. Looks like Jim is going south. Gonna take those gloves and go right over to Stumpy, with the slightly faster route.
Yeah. Only 15 rupees right now, so he's not going to be able to do the arrow or the archery game in order to be able to do the game. I don't think Stumpy had any money. Yeah, let's do some arrows. So that's going to be a saving quick.
Yeah, he can get some. He could be hoping to get some money in the village. Also, there are some pots in Thieves Town, if you know where to look, that have 5 rupees in them. There, you can get, I believe, up to 30 inside of Thieves Town if you want to. You got to go a little bit out of your way behind some bomb walls, I believe, but they are available. Jim actually putting those gloves to use with some very rarely seen 50-50 bomb rocks and getting a lot of bombs for his efforts.
Getting a lot of wins on those 50-50s in a row there. That's pretty awesome. Mikan is going with a little bit more farming when it comes to bombs, but looks like they're saving and quitting as well, so probably gonna check Hype Cave as well. There's our Moon Pearl, so we're just missing 1 item from getting access to the Light World right now. We need either the mitts or the hammer to get there.
Yeah, and if unlike the other modes, mitts actually open up pretty much all of the Light World for them. So, with the exception of Death Mountain, but they can just go up there without the lamp. You know, they can just walk through that cave. These runners are pretty good. I don't think dark rooms will be the thing that holds them back in this seed.
Yeah, probably not. We've seen dark rooms is pretty much just a suggestion at this point when it comes to the lamp. You want to have the lamp in terms of fire source, but in terms of dark rooms, yeah, it's safe to assume that we'll see both our runners skip that logic. Gem tried to do the chess game, didn't have enough money, so it's gonna head into Thieves Town before instead. There's a small key, puts blind and logic now.
I think he just wanted to talk to the guy. You know, that guy gets lonely probably up there, waiting for somebody to come buy his stuff.
That seems reasonable, yeah. Let's go with that. Hey, there's 20 rupees. Can now do the chess game.
Yeah, although with only 40, he may want to try to do the archery game to get more first, but we'll see which way he decides to go with that.
So Mikan is not going to have enough rupees to do chess game as well. So deciding to head into Thieves Town, and whoa, speaking of money, all of a sudden we're going to be rich.
No need to farm the archery game for the moment then. So that's pretty nice fun right there.
Yeah, and Gem is living a little bit dangerously at the moment. Only with 1 heart, so it's going to have to be careful not to take any more damage in here. I'm gonna pick up a heart on this pot here. Seems like a good idea. You can also get one when picking up the small key here in the next room.
Okay, so somebody was wondering the current records. Looks like Jim is 13-1 and Mikan is 10-4, and they are both currently locked into their bracket spots. So this race really is just to see who is the number one, actually Jim's definitely the number one. So this race is just to see bragging rights, basically.
Yeah, and this will be their last run in the group stages as well. Every 10th enemy has a bomb. That's not a very good hint to get. It being a green hint, it's basically just an indicator that it's a joke hint, so nothing the runners need to take into account of any of their routing or anything like that. Just to make things a little bit extra clear.
And Jim making use of some magic pots we also don't get to see very much. There's a lot of different strats for farming in inverted versus regular. You have to really exercise your game knowledge. And so far, Thieves Town's not giving us much besides money, but we do have a couple more things to go. Have we gotten the map yet? I've looked away to check those stats.
Don't think so. We did not get the map yet. We did get the compass, however.
Okay, so one of the 3 remaining is the map. So we've got 2 items left in here. So we'll just have to see. Actually, one of them may be locked in the big chest. Hopefully that's where the map is for the sake of the runners.
Yeah, no. That would definitely be nice to know that you don't have to go back in here and Thieves Town again.
Chad, I believe the bunny spray is Link? Or maybe it's a naked... No, it's a naked bunny. Just kidding. That's right. Okay, so there is a item locked in the big chest, which is not great news because it's going to be isolated once they kill Blind. But we'll have to see if they have to come back in here to get that.
Yeah. It's one of the things I dislike the most, I think, with Inverted. It gives you so many opportunities where you have to go into Thieves Town and then leave that chest behind.
All right, Mikan giving us a demonstration of the bunny sprite.
Yeah, it was a pretty good sprite actually. I've never seen the bunny sprite for the bunny.
All right, Mikan, Jim's through phase 1, no damage, doing great. Into phase 3 now. Getting a little dangerous here though. I was gonna say there's no way out of that one even with pause buffering. He was surrounded. Mikan about to start the same fight. Phase 1's gonna be pretty easy to get. It's after that where it gets a little dangerous. But Jim's gonna check a couple items. We're gonna check the chess game at least before he goes back in, and finds the hook shot. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, it for sure is. Ooh, Mikan taking it after as well.
Yeah, that
Kinda
fight
got a little
is
bit cornered.
That fight is really brutal, and that early hook shot tells us, I think, tells us that the lamp might be somewhere here coming up. Question is it on blind, or will they be able to find it at the digging game, or will we find some other form of progression here?
Yeah, the lamp would definitely seem pretty reasonable to find at this point, giving them access to go up to Death Mountain, and there's a lot of things they could check there, especially when having the Moon Pearl.
Yeah, and you don't know. Sorry, I lost my thought for a second. For those that don't know, in Inverted, you can actually access Hookshot Cave with just the glove and a lamp logically, or just the glove if you don't worry about lamp logic. So right now in the Dark World, they could do Super Bunny Cave and they could get Hookshot Cave. There's a ramp when you go up the mountain. And once you use the portal there to, you grab the old man on the way up, and there's a portal that takes you to the light world. You have to drop down to deliver him. And then you can use that hook shot with that moon pearl to go across the mountain and grab Paradox Cave and Spiral. So there's a lot to check up here. It's not quite in logic, but it's better than fighting blind with 3 hearts. So Jim's just going to go for it.
Yeah, it makes sense. And meanwhile, Mikan did take another death on blind. It's going to head back, but if this is another death, we're not going to have a lot of magic left. So this might be the last chance Mikan has to take this, or otherwise they might go for the same play.
Yeah, and he doesn't know Hookshot's right next door, but I imagine if he has any more trouble out of this, he might just go ahead and investigate that and probably end up right up here, dark room or no.
Yeah, it looks like Mikan was also trying to kill a few enemies and maybe get some magic, because let's see, that it's gonna be tight in terms of magic uses here.
It's got some nice dodges going on so far. Oop, got 1 hit there. Still needs to get phase 2 down. Oh no, it's getting a little close. Nah, this fight is really hard to do. Okay, we see Hera is our 3rd pendant, and the Eastern and Desert are crystals today.
And Mikan is leaving, but it's not checking the chess game and just going to dig game.
Oh yeah, that's I think he may have forgotten that he didn't have the money for chess game when he was up there.
Could be, yeah. And by doing the dig game here, it might actually get a fair amount of magic. So it might even be enough magic for Mikan to see reason to try the blind fight again. It's a very early-ish game and just leaving.
Yeah, actually choosing not to farm, that's actually a pretty good time to farm rupees, magic, whatever you might need. Just keep digging usually when you do that digging game.
Well, maybe it's for the best. Might lead Mikan to get the hookshot instead and get some more safeties before going back to blind again, if blind indeed is something they're gonna have to do. We also did not see all of the chests in Skullwoods, I don't think. Oh no, Mikan is going up without the hookshot.
Oh yeah, that's going to cause him to have to do some backtracking. And we see Jim pull off a bomb jump that used to be a little more obscure, but you see a lot more these days. Only 3-tile bomb jump in the game, but you can clip into the wall a little bit, which is the reason why that works.
It looks like apparently we did see all the items in Skullwoods. I totally missed the second item.
Well, it wasn't worth writing home about, so no worries.
So Mikan will get the saving quick point up to the mountain from this at the very least. And we'll be able to check Super Bunny Cave, but that's about it.
Yeah, he's unfortunately setting himself up for a decent amount of backtracking right now.
Yeah, it would almost be better if the mountain right now just act like the normal Death Mountain, so it could only check like the old man and one more thing and not go all the way over to the east side. That would have forced him to go somewhere else pretty fast.
Yeah, we see Jim finding our first bottle and the flute, which in this case he can't activate just yet because you still activate it in the light world, but it does give you mire access once you do activate it, because the flute works in the dark world in inverted, and the flute 8 spot just goes into the mire, or 6 spot just goes into the mire area instead of the desert area. And while we don't have a medallion, we do have the hook shot, so we'll see if we get some more theoretical mire access here soon. Got a cane of Berna on the floating island, which is still good for logic for Spike Cave and Laser Bridge, but doesn't actually protect you anywhere else. It is still a weapon, but it's very much not as easy to use in this mode.
Yeah, especially using that cane on blind is pretty much a nightmare. I think our runners would much rather use the red cane.
Yeah, that would definitely be the safer of the 2 canes for them in hard mode.
Okay, so except for that flute and the bottle, I guess, not too much on the light side of Death Mountain. Not anything that gives us any immediate progression at the very least. But we'd still have the dark side here, which Jem is going to check now as well. Mikan is going to be able to check the Super Bunny Cave a little bit before that. And, well, for their sake, let's hope there's nothing in Super Bunny Caves, because that's kind of going to force them to go back to Thieves Town and also get that hook shot.
Did I miss a hint? I think chat is telling me that I missed a hint. I'm seeing talk of boots in plain sight.
Oh, yes, I must have missed it as well then. It must have been the checkerboard, or not checkerboard, spectacle rock hint then.
Jim having a little trouble getting by these guys, but using the hookshot iframes. Oh wow, that was really clutch. I can't believe that worked.
There's a sword in Super Bunny Cave, so that's gonna help Mikan on the blind fight.
Okay, well, for those of you wondering what in plain sight means, it means what we haven't seen. It means Hylia Island, it means Zora Ledge, it means Desert Ledge, it means torch. Well, what doesn't mean torches in this case, obviously, because it's boots, but it can mean torches. What else? The Hera basement actually counts, the one that you just pick up because you just walk down there and it's there, visible. And there's the Spectacle Rock Cave actually counts, but we know it's not there. And I feel like I'm missing at least one. Oh yeah, Lost Woods. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's still another one. We saw Floating Island, so we know it's not there.
So at this point, Blind will probably either have the lamp that would give them access to beat Aghanim, or have another glove or hammer at this point, because I think that's the only thing we have really left in logic now, and we didn't really get anything that we could use in terms of logic up on Death Mountain except for that sword.
Yeah, Chad helping me out. Lumberjack Ledge, Pyramid Ledge, and Bumper Cave also counting for in plain sight.
Yeah, it's basically everything you can see.
Well, it looks like Jim's going to go back and give it another shot with blind here. He does have that sword now. Yeah, I think it's probably the lamp, and this is looking a little bit Aghanim right now.
Yeah, it definitely has those vibes at the moment, but it could very much be just light world access as well.
Yeah, I'm feeling Aghanim though. I think this is the lamp. We'll see if we're correct here soon. Meanwhile, Mikan's going back to blind without still getting that hook shot, so he is still missing that one piece there that he needs to get some more mountain access. But if this is the lamp, he will still have Aghanim access.
Yeah.
The question
this is close. Yeah, that's another death. Blind is not playing around this scene.
Yeah, this is even with a sword, with them not being able to do the regular scripted fight. This is dangerous. It looks
Mikan is 1 hit away now. Oh no!
Oh, wrong one hit to get though. Of course, for those that don't know, you can actually reset this fight by going back and getting the maiden. These runners probably gonna not do that because it takes a little more time. Unless, of course, this keeps happening, they may choose to do that with that sword. That would make the script a lot easier to do. But hopefully Mikan actually remembers that he didn't do chess game, because he hasn't gone back there yet, which is a little worrisome.
Yeah, at this point, I think it's safe to assume that he might have forgotten it, because otherwise I don't see a reason why they would not check it.
Oh,
one more hit. Come on. There we go, Jen. Nicely done.
Alright, yeah, that was a really quick... Oh, well, okay. Well, it's not Aghanim, it's just light world access. Those mitts get them the ability to check basically everything in the light world, so that's pretty nice. The mountain is not yet in logic either.
When Mikan taking another death. Once again, really close of getting it as well. So Jem is gonna head down and grab the smith before heading into the light world, because you just turn him in straight away. Don't need the mirror or anything like that, or saving and quitting to turn him in. Just walk into Kakariko and have the smith with you, so seems like a good idea.
Yeah, and then he's gonna check all these Kakariko items. There's what, like 13 items. There's a lot of items available to you right away in the light world when you first get access. There's all of Kakariko, all of South Shore, basically everything that you would get in normal open or standard modes that are not inverted, you can access once you get light world access. So there's a lot of checks you can do all over the world. So it can be a little tricky trying to pair them all in. Also, you have things like Sanctuary, which is not a spawn point, but does still have that chest that you can get. So trying to work that in can be a little annoying sometimes.
I think Mikan got it this time. Nicely done. Didn't even take a single point of damage this time around.
Alright, good job. That's not easy to do that at all, so props. Hey,
there's our lamp
putting,
yeah, Death Mountain into logic for real now. But question is Mikan gonna remember the chess game now? Because otherwise, like, yeah, there's skipping it. This can be a long time before we realize to go back there.
Yeah, he has totally forgotten that. That's unfortunate. We see Quake, some silvers, which in hard mode actually only work on Ganon, so nice to have without having to search for them, but not too functional for us right now. We do have that flute, and we have all the pieces to actually defeat Myra right now, so that looks interesting.
Yeah.
Except for if it's not Quake, maybe. But I mean, that's a lot of potential Myra access right there. So if it's Quake, we could be seeing something a little bit early.
Gem activating the flute here. Even having some audience with him, with the Smith standing right next side of him. Mikan is gonna go into Kakariko and clear this out as well.
Yeah, you can get
a bit interesting. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish that.
I was just gonna say it's gonna be interesting to see where both of them decide to go after this.
I was just gonna make a joke about frog tours in the light world. So
yeah, we don't see too much of that. But inverted definitely gives an opportunity for it.
Alright, I think Jim was thinking about buying bombs there, then realizing, hey, I already have 9, so we'll just skip that for now. Take this bottle to the sick kid for, hey, bombs. And more bombs. So far, Kakariko has not produced anything too exciting.
Yeah,
just these
really.
silvers for the late game.
And the Quake. It's interesting. We never got to see the medallion for Turtle Rock. Many times, people are just thinking about like, because the mirror gives you new ways to go into Turtle Rock, but it can be required to go in like the vanilla way and do the vanilla routing in Turtle Rock. In which case, we would probably need more than just Quake, but it's an interesting potential.
Yeah, the mirror could just be in the furniture rock, making it impossible to do the to go in the back door, as it were, which is just another one of those little tricks of inverted you have to think about.
Yeah, looks like Mikan and Gem is going different paths here. Mikan is gonna check the north side up in the forest, while Gem is heading south. Oh, there's bombos. So that's another medallion. That's pretty good to have. And Gem is gonna do the race game completely blind as well. He's getting some more bombs from that. Not even worth picking up.
Yeah, passing by another one of our in plain sight potential locations, which Jim I don't think actually got that hint. But there's only so many in plain sight locations, so I think he has a good chance of finding the boots anyway. He just doesn't know where they might be.
Yeah, and we see Mikan going north, going south now as well, so that's definitely a good reason for them to just head up to the forest first, just to see if the boots were up there.
Yeah, Jim's gonna check the dam here, and then we'll see if he wants to go south shore or towards the desert. He can actually get Checkerboard Cave and Aegina's Cave in the desert, so there's a couple of extra checks. He could also check the desert ledge if he's so inclined. But there is more item density in the South Shore area, so he may elect to just go that way instead.
Yeah, with the flute and mitts, that combination makes it very easy to go over to the desert area whenever you want to.
Yeah, well, also over the other light.
Yeah.
Some of the other light worlds a little harder to route in. For instance, trying to figure out when to loop in all the various corners like Eastern Palace, and when do you want to go to the castle, the sanctuary. All of that can be a little trickier. People like to do sort of just big loops all through the light world when they first get in to try to check as many items as possible.
mean, the Molder Cave, not very exciting. Got some more money, but that's about it.
Well, some Zora money if they're into fake flippering. They could get the whole Zora area minus the ledge item, but that would be information they could have for later.
Yeah, and could very well be the boots after that hail we got.
Mikan actually choosing to go to desert first to check Checkerboard and Nagina's cave. Also wanted to check for those boots, and he also does not have the flutes. So going this way first to check that made a bit of sense. And we found a third medallion, so no matter what, we can access Meyer now.
Yeah, that's pretty great information to have. Our runners basically have something that the other one won't at the moment.
Alright, Jim's walking down, so it looks like he might be interested in fake flippering right now.
Yeah, seems reasonable.
And there's the Hylia Island you can technically access with this fake flipper as well. It would interrupt your fake flipper status, so you would have to restart if you found something interesting there that you wanted to get. But it's just a piece of heart today, so he can go straight to Hobo and then go back down to the Zora area and check that. And we are down another in plain sight item as well, so those boots are... there's less and less places they could be right now.
Yeah, for sure. We're starting to not really run out of locations yet, but we're checking a lot of those locations in pretty fast pace at the moment. Still have Pyramid left, and I'm not sure exactly which else we have at the moment.
Pyramid and Zora Ledge, I think, are our biggest leftover candidates right now.
Yeah.
Somebody looked up Bumper Cave was earlier. Jim did a really early bomb or a tree pool, so he saw Bumper Cave. Alright, well, we should find out soon enough whether they're here, which would then leave us with Pyramid, I believe, is our really most likeliest candidate after this.
Yeah.
And it looks like Pyramid might be it.
Yeah, unless we're missing some location where it could be that does not require the boots, then it probably is a Pyramid.
I think most of the spots we have left are actually in some way either boots locked or we've already checked.
So it's interesting. We don't really have a way to get to the pyramid yet, so we might not see those boots for quite a while until we find either flippers or hammer or even the mirror would be able to take you to the pyramid.
Graveyard Ledge doesn't count because you have to use bombs to get to it. And also it has its own special hint.
Jim making some use out of that flute, and it's gonna check the Meyer area here. Oh, it's almost to get into Meyer, and that is something that Jim has not picked up yet. It's in the Lost Woods.
And yeah, Jim with that flute actually does have access to a pyramid. If he chooses to go to flute 5, he's got access to basically the whole world.
Oh yeah, you're right. That did not even occur to me.
But right now he is... looks like he's going back to the light world to check the northern part of the light world. That Graveyard Ledge, the Lost Woods, the sanctuary area potentially. So there's a few items up here that he hasn't gotten yet.
Yeah, it's gonna give him that bombos by going this route, so it's gonna be able to go in a full clear mire after it, and might route in Graveyard Ledge and Back of Escape here as well, together with Sanctuary.
Yeah, he's not got a lot of hearts, and he's only got Fire Sword, but this is hard mode. No bow. Vitreous is kind of gross too. So yeah. I don't know. I mean, Mire is theoretically full clearable if you have a lot of time on your hands.
Yeah.
Fire Sword spins. We have
two bottles, which is at least good. The potions are not as potent as they would be in a normal mode, but that's more help than nothing at the very least.
Yeah, Fire Sword spin Vitreous is possible, but gross. Jim gonna play the song of his people as he passes through the light world. Unfortunately, you can't get the taxi service activated in this particular spot, but you know, play it a little tune for us. Alright, so this will be our first Graveyard Ledge check, which is just some more money. And I think that he'll probably want to jump into the sewers here and then walk up into the sanctuary to check all those chests. And if he gets the key, he may go further into the cross chest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was actually Mikan's first bottle from Zora, since he has not managed to get the hookshot and get access to that side of the mountain yet, because the first bottle was in Paradox.
We did get the key there. Gem was about to leave until they decided, wait, we'll probably check the Dark Sewers first.
Yeah, that was close. He almost forgot. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a slow death warp, but the ropes are gonna do still half a heart damage, I think, even in blue mail.
Yeah, Paul the Black mentioning one of the other potential spots that we don't see or haven't seen yet is the basement of Hera. It's also in plain sight, so it may still not be the pyramid. It could still be that. And without the flute, I think Mikan's actually, or without the hookshot and the flute, I think Mikan's actually, he can still go to the eastern area. He could do the castle. He's got a few options on his table, but so far we aren't finding a lot. He's going to be, if there's a progression in one of those spots, he's going to be forced to it maybe earlier than Jim. We'll have to see.
Oh, there's a fire run.
Well, he's definitely heading towards that right now, so yeah. He'll get that at least.
In one way, it might be good if Mikan gets bottlenecked as soon as possible, really, because one way or another, they're gonna have to get that hookshot.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's probably a lot he can do without it. Jim's gonna take a lesser-known path here to get to the castle. You don't see this too often, but it's a nice little shortcut from where he was. Gonna see what the uncle has left behind in his will today. This is a randomized sword, so definitely not gonna be, well, not definitely, but it's probably not gonna be one of those. Just a heart piece. Alright, there's our third bottle. Not too much so far. Where's the next progression going to be, I wonder? We do have all that mire access, so I don't know. I feel like mire's looking pretty interesting. Green pendant as well, so it is 3 items.
Yeah, it would be nice if it was possible to route that in before heading over to the eastern pod area. Although I understand not wanting to jump straight in there with only the fire sword as a weapon.
And we're still looking for this hammer, but the hammer can be actually in a lot of places with these mitts available, so the hunt continues.
And Mikan is going to the mountain again, probably gonna head into Turtle Rock. Did Mikan not pick up the fire rod?
It appears that he forgot to walk up into the sanctuary, which is one of those things in this mode that can really get you. That not being a spawn point, it's actually fairly easy to skip if you're not thinking about it. He is going to take his mitts and go to Paradox Cave, though, is what he's looking for, I think.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
He could actually go into Turtle Rock if he wants to, but I think he's going to start with Paradox, probably. Alright, and Jim is, meanwhile... Jim could also be going into Turtle Rock, I guess? Or, actually, he's already done the Light World checks. He did the Dark World checks as well. So what is Jim going for right now? I don't think that he did check the Turtle Rock Medallion, so I don't think he knows for sure that it's that he has it.
Yeah, at the very least, he's gonna have the odds on his favor, and he's gonna be able to head in there. So we'll see soon enough. It's gonna be yeah, it's Quake.
Okay,
so
well, he can get in there. Maybe he checked it and we missed it.
yeah, it's possible.
Alright, he does have the fire rod, so he can get these first couple of chests that Mikan won't be able to get if he goes in here. It's got a hint that doesn't tell you anything you really care about. No ice rod going in here. Also no hammer, so I don't think he's too interested in finishing the dungeon right this second. I think he's just going for a little bit of iron density, maybe.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. Normally, when you go into Turtle Rock in an open or standard mode, you would be guaranteed at this point to be having all the keys you need to get all the way to Laser Bridge. But this being inverted, that might not be the case. It could be that the mirror is the required way to be able to full clear this.
Yeah, you can absolutely be forced to go into the back way. The big key can actually be on Laser Bridge, as can the cane in the inverted logic. So a lot of times, if you have the mirror, the best way to go about it is to start with Laser Bridge and then work your way backwards. You can actually go fully backwards in Turtle Rock if you have the mirror and the cane of Samaria. Which is something you used to see a lot in Entrance, and you're seeing a little bit more in Inverted these days. Alright, nice clean chain chomp room. Got another key so he can go a little bit further.
Yeah, that's it's a little bit of the rarity to see Turtok being routed this way in inverted.
Of course, Mikan's got that flute now. He doesn't have the hook shot though, so he does not have actual mire access, but he may be on his way to check the pyramid that we haven't seen yet, based on the hint and maybe the pod area.
Could be.
So he's actually got access to a lot of things now without that hook shot. So he's getting further and further away from it, going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, and not only that, also is gonna have to. Oh, there's a mirror in Turtok. Well, how about that?
All right, nice play, Jim. So that means the front door was definitely required, and good call on Jim's part.
But yeah, Mikan has definitely put themselves in a little bit of a tricky position with first missing the hook shot, and also the fire rod is very much isolated at this point as well. You don't really have a save and quit point to Sanctuary because you're starting the Dark World. Gem is gonna take the moment and clear out Hyrule Castle. Well, not Hyrule Castle, but Castle Tower, which is located up here on Death Mountain. It is all dungeons, so you're gonna have to do this sooner or later, and probably even gonna mirror after finishing this to be able to check Pyramid as well.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good, and the chances are getting higher that that's where he finds his boots anyway.
Yeah, and it looks like Mikan is kind of beelining to that position as well, so we find out very soon if that's the case.
Yeah, he having picked up that hint, this play makes sense for him. He really wants those boots. Still no idea where the hammer is. They should look, but they do have access to just about everything. The hammer, at this point, can't be inside of certain at the back of certain dungeons, but there's a lot of places it can be. And Mikan did find the boots on the pyramid.
Yeah, that's nice. And Gem had to use a potion here. Took an unfortunate fall and got some damage done to him while falling down as well. So it was only at half a heart, so it made a lot of sense. You just played safe here. You don't want to die in this tower and have to do it again. And just a joke hint in Naga Tower, so that's not going to be much to help them at all. Catfish Day has flippers. Okay, that's a good pickup.
Yeah, unfortunately, the mirror doesn't work the same way. If he even had it, he wouldn't be able to immediately mirror like you could in other modes and use those flippers to check the Zora area. Well, he already went up there, but you know, just one of those things in inverted. Catfish having the flippers when you have the mirror in regular mode is pretty handy, but in this case, it's just, you know, kind of obnoxious.
Yeah, so Swamp Palace is fully in logic now.
Well, yep, that is true.
Not for any
well,
other
than
runners,
the first chest anyway. That one chest is.
Oh yeah, right. With hammer, my bad. I'm stupid.
Right, the amount of access we have makes remembering that there's no hammer a little trickier. I didn't really catch what that was.
That was the magic cape, but there's nothing of importance of bumper cave if I remember correctly.
Alright, so Mikan's gonna check the boots area. The King's Tomb being the one and only thing that is absolutely locked by the mitts in this game. So, but he's got those already, so he's gonna be able to check that. You can't mirror into it in the inverted. Could be interesting the amount of things that Mikan's being forced to check if the hammer is not hook shot locked or fire rod locked or mirror locked. It seems possible he could run into it first.
Could be, yeah. With those flippers, might even attempt to go into Ice Palace to search for the hammer. But it looks like we're heading to the Meyer area. Mikan has not checked this earlier because they just recently got the flute, I believe. Or maybe they did check it because they're heading into Meyer first.
Well, he does have all 3 medallions, so he knows that he can get into and full clear Meyer no matter what. Especially since he picked up those boots now.
Just seems like you might want to check the Meyer shed first in chances of a sword upgrade, maybe.
Oh yeah, he did check the Meyer shed earlier.
Oh, okay. that's a little bit.
Oh man, that's
that's a good try.
Nice little preview there, though. The section of the pyramid nobody ever goes to. Jim just checking it out for us today. Jim gonna immediately go check the Bonk Rocks areas as well, and then we'll have to see where he decides to go after that. He can also full clear Meyer. He hasn't picked up those flippers yet, but he has the mirror, so he could choose to go over to Catfish. Well, actually, I think the better thing for him would be to use the flute like Mikan did. But he's got a lot of options open to him right now.
So here we see a use of Cane of Burnout where it actually helps you out and gives you invincibility on those spikes there. A good way to preserve some health, because that's surely something you want to have as much as possible of in this dungeon.
I mean, fighter sword, what, 7 heart or 8 heart Vitreous with no bow, no hammer. Seems great. I definitely would never rage quit in that situation.
Yeah, it's a rough position to be in. Gem, whenever heading over to Meyer, will have the cape, but the cape will drain magic really fast, twice as fast as normally, so it's not going to be too helpful, but you could get some free hits in.
Of course, we still haven't seen Eastern or Palace of Darkness, but I don't think we've even seen Sahasrala's hut. So there's actually a lot of items over in the Eastern area that could potentially be up for grabs, especially if the Palace of Darkness is not bow locked.
Yeah. So Jam is gonna buy some potions, might even route in Catfish at the same time since they have the mirror. But with buying some potions, would imagine they're thinking maybe about heading to Meyer at this point.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea to have potions going into this situation. The only thing that I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say, like, if Vitreous doesn't have an item, maybe you save it for later. But technically, he does have an item, so so decisions.
Yeah, right. There's a hint there in Meyer about Mimic Cave only having arrows, so that saves us from having to check that later. But that's about it. It's always like you'd rather get those hints than getting the hints about places you or just like getting joke hints. Like, this is not the best hint, but at least it helps you in some capacity.
Looks like Jim is gonna go over think he might be swimming to the eastern pot area. He can combo those with the mirror, so there's a lot to do over here. He might have actually been buying potions to bottle glitch, actually, now that
Yeah, that could have been it.
Meanwhile, Mikan is going into this fight with... He has a potion, but he's starting out with 4 hearts. So this could get a little dicey.
Yeah, and this fight coming up, patience is really the best way to approach it.
Wow, that Sahasrala's hut was the dumpiest of garbage.
I know, it had a unique item after all. And getting that unique item might not be really good, but it makes your hints in the future better at least, because you know that the hints will not talk about that unique item.
Alright, well, Jim's going to head into Eastern first, and Mikan is going to soften up these guys with bombs. And then he's going to be spinning to win, hopefully.
Yeah, makes sense to get some free damage in with the bombs. It's not enough to kill the eyes, but it's definitely enough to soften them up a little bit.
Yeah, and they're basically all still alive, so this is going to take a minute. It's going to have to be careful.
One pretty real thing you could do before heading in here at this point would have been to buy like 1 or 2 bomb upgrades. They cost 200 though, since this is hard mode, but it would make the fight a little bit safer in that terms of the bomb strats.
Yeah, the eyes could have been a lot more, had a lot more damage done to them before they started trying to mow him down over here in the corner. Mikan also has to be careful. He has to keep moving because the corner is not necessarily safe. They will come down there into the corner if you camp down there. Jim just got a hint that Misery Mire left side does have the key, and I think it said something about the shield too. I didn't quite catch it.
Yeah, it was both the items on the the left side. So slowly but surely we're getting this done, but gonna have to use the fighter sword on the big Vitreous eyes as well.
Do you remember how many spins it is? I don't remember how many it is, other than it is a very large and annoying number.
I think it's 32.
Oh man. Well, this is well, we could be here for a minute. And the thing about this to remember is that you have to go in a figure-8 pattern so that you don't get stuck. You need to have enough time to charge up your sword. Mikan looks like he may have forgotten the pattern, though. Getting a little bit messed up right there. Can't go into the goo too many... I think he is... Yeah, he can't go into the goo too many more times, or at all now. Yeah, he's kind of halfway doing the figure-8. You gotta be a little careful, though.
This is terrifying.
Yeah, I'm sure he is, like, really clinching right now. Oh, he's stuck into the goo.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, because he
especially when you spend so much time on that boss fight as well.
Yeah, and he's wasted a lot of his resources as well, so he's gonna just table that for now. He does have the option of Palace of Darkness available to him. Looks like he's thinking about going to Ice first, or maybe just forgetting that he could go to Fleet 5, I guess. Are don't know where he's going right now, actually. Oh, he's going to buy a potion. Okay. Yeah, this shop sells a blue potion in inverted for those who have not ever seen this. They put it there because of a quirk with Spike Cave's logic, which could require you to have magic extension, but not also actually have access to the witch's hut because it's in the light world. So they just put this in as a quick hotfix. They may be updating that later, but for now, this is going to be a blue potion in this shop. And is he looking into Ice Palace? Yeah, he is going to go into Ice Palace hammerless. I didn't even actually catch if Pod was bowlocked because I was watching that Vitreous fight. Did you happen to?
I was pretty much into that as well, but let's see. He has 2 small KC. I'm not sure.
Okay, our tracker is telling us that Pod was in fact bowlocked. Shoutouts to our tracker Link Force, by the way. So Pod, not really the answer. I don't think he went too far into Eastern either.
Well, he did check everything in Eastern, but
oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, didn't get much from it. Got like a bottle, and that's about it.
Yeah, we were in that Vitreous fight for a while, and I was trying to see how that was going. So I admit my eyes were not as far on, or not on this, not able to track both screens as easily. So, where is this progression at then? I mean, Vitreous is still in logic. Mikan didn't manage to get him down, but that is an available item.
Yeah, having a late hammer is it's pretty obnoxious to have it because there's so many dungeons that you can be forced to double dip when you don't have the hammer.
And Mikan's actually only got, he's got no bomb, so if he misses this trick, he's gonna have a problem. And she missed it. Sorry, Mikan. I did not mean to curse you there.
That's very unfortunate.
Chat, he did not really give up. He was actually locked out because you need a bomb to kill that Stalfos. I think it's possible with some other things, but I don't think he actually...
King of Berna can potentially kill it, but
yeah, he could have technically boomeranged it like 48 times, but I don't think he really wants to. I think it's 48. It's some really ridiculously high number that you would never want to actually go through with.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think that's the same for the Armos.
Mikan going to take these boosts to check this one chest. Interesting that he is so far avoided Pod and Eastern Palace, but I think he's running out of options a little bit.
Yeah.
So he may end up there sooner rather than later. He can actually do Turtle Rock, so he might get this mirror here in a minute.
Well, it doesn't have the fire rod, so it's unfortunately going to be locked out from that mirror.
Yeah, that is true. So, no, that's kind of good news for him then, because he won't, you know, dip into swamp without the hook shot, at least not right now.
Yeah, and Jim saw the Ether medallion, decided not to pick it up because already know which 2 medallions are needed. Ether being none of them.
Yeah, so Jim is not sure where Jim was going to want to go right now. He's cleared out Pod, he's cleared out Eastern Palace. Well, actually, no, he hasn't done Mire at all yet, so this does make the most sense for him.
Yeah.
Probably going to do Mire, and if that doesn't pay out, try to dip Ice after that.
Did not
Because they-
manage to find any sword upgrades or the hammer before this, so he's gonna have to do the same fight we saw Mikan do.
Yeah. We are really running out of spots right now, especially
Yeah.
attractive spots.
Yeah, all of the options we have right now are all pretty terrible, to be honest. We can go into Ice Pass without the hammer. We can do Vitreous with Fighter Sword. We can check one chest in Swamp Palace with no hammer. It's
Yeah.
it's
I don't
not a
know
lot
what-
of options.
I don't know what kind of life we're living where Fighter Sword Vitreous is the most attractive option.
Right. So Mikan is gonna do front of castle here. It looks like maybe that will send them back into the mode of like, wait, I think I missed to shake whatever it's called, the Sanctuary chest. Hopefully for Mikan's sake.
Yeah. Let's see here. We have Laser Bridge is technically in logic for sure, as chat's pointing out. We got some chests in Ice Palace that Mikan didn't quite get to. We got that first chest in Swamp. What else do we still have on the table that we haven't actually seen yet? We do have the Back of Skull Woods, but they did get both items as reported, so no rush to do that just yet.
Yeah. So
I think we're really down to those most obnoxious options that I just listed.
yeah. And if we find the ice rod, I think when you have 4 bottles and that Trinex is actually in logic with Fire Sword and nothing else.
Trinex can in fact have the hammer in this mode, which is could be fun.
Yeah, I think we need 4 bottles for magic reasons, but we do have 4 bottles in logic. I'm not sure how that works in hard mode because we only get half of the magic back from the potions. But I think that's how it works in a normal mode.
Alright, so Jim is on his way to this wonderful fight. We'll see if he remembers this figure 8 pattern that you have to do to keep yourself out of danger. It's gonna be a long fight regardless. Apparently we had a hint somewhere that there was something sharp in Turtle Rock. I must have missed that one. Unless that was on the Mire hint, maybe. So interesting. They should be able to actually get that sword unless it's on Trinex.
Yeah, then that would be the only place in Turtle Rock that is locked for gem at the moment, at the very least. Mikan still needs to get that fire rod and eventually even that hookshot too.
Yeah, he's gonna do this Eastern pod. Well, Eastern now for now because he doesn't have the mirror because he's locked out of it. So he's just gonna do that for now. He can after that go to the Dark World and flute to 5 and check out pod, which is again bow locked. But if he's thinking of the potion glitch, he can at least clear that out for peace of mind. Jim's not even starting with bombs, so he's feeling. Oh, there he goes.
Yeah. I think he heard you. It's like, yeah. Should probably use the bombs I have at the very least.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to get a couple of free hits in before the eyes started partying on him.
Yeah, makes sense. And normally we see the spin strats being you take some damage boost to get some extra hits on the ice, but here when you don't have so much health, you're just going for a little bit of a more safe spin strats, which makes a lot of sense.
And we saw the cape draining faster because this is hard mode. Jim giving us a little demonstration there and getting all of one spin off before the cape was like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah.
But he is doing a nice job getting these little eyes out of the way, though. All right, now he's just got to figure 8 and spin to win. Oh, nice double hit.
Double there, yeah.
Ooh.
Gets a hit, but it does have a potion, I believe, yeah. So.
Looks like he's doing a pretty good job working that pattern. Still getting himself some double hits. That's pretty nice. I think he's practiced this a time or two.
Yeah, I would say so. This when you have to do 32 spins to kill Vitreous, getting some doubles is definitely appreciated.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of getting doubles in. And he's doing a great job of maintaining his pattern too to avoid damage. So this is actually going pretty well, all things considered.
So I will imagine if Gem takes down Vitreous here, we will see them cash in that green pendant as soon as possible, because after doing all of this, you better want to make sure that you get some value from it.
Alright, that was very nicely done. That was
very impressive.
Very nicely done. That was a very clean Fire Sword Vitreous, which is a very hard fight to pull off. That was great. Alright, so let's see if the green pendant has anything. We've been able to get this pendant theoretically for a while now. Just, you know, the prospect of fighting Vitreous in this situation, not really an attractive one.
Yeah.
Jim making good use of that Aghanim 1 portal there that he set up earlier by doing Aghanim.
Yeah,
a little bullied by the overworld guards, though.
Definitely helpful. Also, gonna have the same quick point to the light world as well, which is a little bit more useful when you don't have the hammer.
Try at spin speed, but of course, he's demonstrating right now that for whatever reason, the vanilla game thought that after you finished with Eastern and never had any reason to come back here, that they should definitely put a lot of guards there.
And it looks like the Fire Sword Meyer was totally not necessary.
But it was a sight to see, at least.
Yeah, that's for sure. So it looks like we're heading into Ice Palace instead.
Yeah, so we have this and we have some checks in Turtle Rock, one of which we know is a sword. So, interesting. How many? I don't know how many items are left in Turtle Rock exactly either. I think we only got 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think we got 2 items. Yeah, we only got 2 items, I'm pretty sure.
So
Possibly
that's 3 items left, I think, and he can technically reach at least 2 of those. Of course, there are 3 hits here in Ice Palace, and 3 potential items if they're not locked behind the hammer, which he currently doesn't have.
And Mikan is gonna turn into Smith. I don't believe we ever saw the purple chest, did we?
I don't believe we did either, actually. That has been sitting around for a while, waiting for somebody to pick it up. So that's a kind of an isolated check, but they do have the flute, so it's not as bad. Ooh, Jim doing the bomb strats in the Pingator room here. It pulls it off real nicely. And that's some knowledge that can help you in Randomizer too. Knowledge that you can kill the ping gators in one shot with bombs. Something to keep in mind since we do have a lot of weird modes going on these days.
Yeah. The Pengators are really weird in that sense that it takes like 2 tempered hits to kill them, but they get one-shotted by hookshot and bombs.
Well, the hookshot really one-shots a lot of random things. It's a pretty powerful weapon overall. Not just good for movement.
I'm deciding not to do the bomb jump because probably not going to be able to full clear this unless we find the hammer anyways. And even if we do find the hammer, we do have King of Samaria. And Mikan, on the other hand, is going to turn in that purple chest. Deciding to flew to 6 here and use this portal to get over there. That's a pretty smart decision.
Yeah, I was actually thinking there was no great way to get over there, but I forgot about this portal and having the mitts. That's a pretty heads-up play.
Oh, there's the hammer.
Man.
It's been available to us this entire time.
That is terrible. Okay, so will Jim go to purple chest before he goes to Turtle Rock? Yeah, that's been there. That's just been sitting there for so long, man.
Yeah.
They had mitts so early.
Yeah, that was basically a sphere 2 location.
Oh, this is the potential price you can pay for isolating things. Sometimes you just leave your progression that you really need over in that one corner that you haven't checked.
So Mikan is now gonna... Okay, saying quit. I thought we were actually gonna head into Ice Passer.
Yeah, see, I mentioned that Mikan...
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say he went into the light world to get bombs, and they have the mirror, so needed the same quit to get back here.
Oh, right. I was gonna say that I did mention that Mikan might find the hammer before Jim, seeing as how he was being forced into checks that Jim can't make. However, he still does have that hookshot and fire rod situation that he's in, so finding the hammer first is nice, but I don't think it's actually going to help the situation that he's currently in. Jim having to go back to the beginning there to get to the last, to get to the big chest. He found the big key, but he was kind of isolated from it without any small keys. So we get to see Ice Palace a few times today.
Yeah, and Mikan buying bombs before getting in here. Not gonna make the same mistake as last time when they only had 1 bomb here.
Yeah, the good news is we're gonna get to see the Stalfos kill demonstrated at least 6 times today, I think.
Yeah. We even got it demonstrated how to not do it as well.
Mikan missing the bomb jump to start with there. Almost. It was really close. Gets it the 3rd time.
And there we go.
Jim, meanwhile, gonna come and find what's in this big chest. I don't think it's gonna be anything he's too excited about. I mean, I guess it could just be the bow or something, you know, fun like that, but it's just the map.
Yeah, so the items to be on a lookout for at the moment would be we need bow, we need ice rod, and we also need a book eventually to get into Desert Palace. That would be the 3 items for no mode at the moment.
Yeah.
Mikan also needs the hook shot and fire rod from that they forgot earlier. That would also lead them to mirror. And Gem is gonna need to grab that hammer from the purple chest.
Interestingly enough, we do now have the ability to full clear swamp for real, but at least from our perspective, not our runners, but from our perspective, we do.
Yeah, and speaking of Swamp Palace, Gem is gonna go for that first chest in Swamp Palace.
I'm wondering if he's
gonna be disappointed.
I'm wondering if he's maybe accidentally written off the purple chests in the same way that Mikan's clearly written off the chess game.
Yeah, that would definitely be something that Mikan needs at the moment. Maybe to be able to catch up a little bit, but
if Jim is actually remembering the purple chest, he might go there before Turtle Rock, but I'm not sure. He can still get potentially 3 items at Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and something which is interesting with version 30 when you forget a location is that you have the possibility of being bailed out by a hint that could tell you where the item is. But so far we've seen a lot of hints and none of them have been about the hammer, fire rod, or the hook shot.
Okay, so Jim is going to Turtle Rock, I believe. So either he is just putting that purple chest off until last, or he is not really thinking about it at the moment. Meanwhile, Mikan didn't find too much of interest on the right side of Ice Palace. He does still have Cold Stare coming up, though. I don't know how many items we've gotten. There's been so much back and forth.
Yeah. At the release at this point, Mikan does have the hammer, which is not only good that it gives us the opportunity to full clear more stuff, but it's a pretty powerful weapon as well, especially when you only have Fighter Sword as the other option.
Yeah, there's been so much back and forth that keeping track of the crazy things going on, keeping track of the items in the dungeons, have been doing a very bad job of, I'll say. And there's Jim demonstrating how the big key can in fact be on Laser Bridge in this mode.
Yeah, that's pretty nice when you get to go mode Turtle Rock every now and then. Having the big key on Laser Bridge can be the perfect way to do that.
Well, we found all of the keys, though. Speaking of keys in Turtle Rock.
Yeah. Gonna have to work our way backwards here. We can get the roller chest and the big chest still. I could have that sword unless it's on Trinex. But I would imagine that Gem wants to find something else than a sword right now, because they want to have some form of progression at this point.
Jim's just playing around with his switcher, and accidentally taking an extra bonk there. Oh well, that's some progression. It's not gonna take him to his hammer though.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, he may have already. If he got all the items out of Eastern Palace, that's really not progression either, to be honest.
Yeah, I definitely got 2 items. I'm not sure about the third one.
Certainly not going to progress him very far, because he can only do Armos Knights really with it. That bow is mirror locked though, so it is further down the chain that Mikan currently can't get through.
Yeah, it is. Mikan is doing a good job here on the hammer fight against Cold Stare. Is gonna be a little bit safer and use the potion. I don't blame them. After all of the low percent fights we had to done here, better take it the safe way. And Jam did get the Master Sword from that big chest, so...
Yeah, our tracker telling us that all the items for Eastern were found, so that actually means that Bo is 0 progression for Gem right now then.
Yeah, and Gem is floating to free.
I think he finally remembered.
They're gonna pick up the purple chest, and this is gonna let Gem basically full clear everything except for Desert and Trinex at this point.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. He's already done all of the double dips, and now he's gonna get that hammer. So, but he is gonna be able to get the. He's gonna be able to get Hamelstar 2 now. So I don't actually know if there's any items left in pod either. Again, trying to follow the items has been a little bit ridiculous. Trying to watch all these low percent fights.
There's the hammer for Gem.
I actually think Swamp is the most dense and interesting player right now, and I think Jim agrees because he's heading that way. Yeah. Although with half a heart, he might choose to Death Warp immediately.
Jim even tried to flute first, but quickly realized this is inverted mode, so you can't really do that.
Alright, so Link Force telling us there is an item on Helmosaur. Shoutouts again to our tracker who is doing a better job of keeping track of dungeon items for us.
Yeah, we would be lost without Link Force for us, for sure. Mikan is gonna probably do Hera here, which was basically locked until we got that hammer as well.
Yeah, he's got a lot of things he can do without the hook shot still. But again, he's got that. He's got an item chain facing him that he is locked himself out of because of the fire rod leading to the mirror, leading to the bow. Hookshot actually hasn't really gotten us anything just yet, but we'll see if it does here in Swamp Palace. While we're searching for new information here, everybody be sure to follow these runners. They are putting on an amazing show here. Getting to see some really interesting low percent strats in this hard inverted mode. So give these guys a follow.
Ooh, and that's...
Well, he took a Death Warp. He just waited a little longer than I thought he was.
Yeah.
Well, the good news for him, though, is that the water stays drained these days, so it doesn't hurt that much.
Yeah, speaking of Death Warps, I believe Mikan is gonna try and set one up here as well, since they're gonna have to grab the big key and don't have the mirror. So Death Warp seems pretty natural, so you just get you right back to the beginning again. We did see the first hint was just a joke hint, but hopefully for Mikan's sake, maybe one of the second hint could be one of those items that they missed earlier.
Alright, so this is Pendant Era, but this is also all dungeons. So it doesn't really feel that bad to clear it, even while you're still looking for items especially. And that is a guaranteed basement for both runners, since the big queue is down there. So that's going to at least not feel too bad.
Yeah, and the rest of Hera is not really much of a time save to skip the chest anyways. The only really time commitment is to go all the way up to Hera and then have to go up to the mountain like multiple times. Kind of want to minimize that as much as possible.
Right, so I don't believe the hookshot's really led to anything just yet. Well, we did get the big key, so there's the big chest still. That's technically hookshot locked. That might have something. We really just need to find this ice rod and this book.
Yeah.
And then we're good to go. But again, the ice rod and the book are, well, it's basically like having 2 ice rods in one mode.
Yeah, it's 2 of the most obnoxious items to find. We do know we won't have to search for anything except for the big King Ganon's tower at the very least.
Jim demonstrating a little bit of hook dashing on Argus here. A Master Sword, it's a little bit harder to pull off, so he got a few puffs down though. Good job. Tom's gonna treat us to Hammer Moldorm, which is a very fast fight. 3 hits and he's down, and you don't get the fast phase, so that's nice. It's a compass and not much else out of Hera.
It's gotta feel a lot relaxing to do that fight after all the other fights we've been forced to do so far.
Yeah, he does still have Meyer to go back to. He may end up there before he actually ends up with his hookshot or fire rod. But he's also locked out of that sword, incidentally, so he's not going to have an easier fight unless there is a sword somewhere in well, I think Left Side Swamp. I don't think we've seen Left Side Swamp yet. I think Jim hasn't gone to it yet.
Yeah.
Unless there's a sword. What else is Hammer locked that he can get to? He can get to Hammer Pegs, which he's about to do right now. I think Jim is skipping the left side and the big chest. I don't know how many items he has left in there. He should have at least 1 item left in there because he skipped 3 chests.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely at the very least 1. I think that they got the compass too, but I'm not 100% sure, so if that's the case, then there should be 2 items left.
Oh, he can... he's running out of spots a little bit, so it's not going to be as bad to go back there later, I guess. He's going to go ahead and clear Pod and Eastern here. Get those out of the way. I think he's got 1 item in Palace of Darkness with the Helmsword King. And he's going to be able to pick up a couple of crystals.
And Mikan is heading back into Meyer. At the very least, having the hammer in this fight is going to be, especially the last phase, it's going to be a lot more, not easy, but definitely probably prefer to have the hammer instead of fight a sword on the last phase.
Yeah, if he can, oh yeah, you know, we just forgot, somebody reminding me, there is an item in the big Thieves Town chest.
Oh yeah, right, that's the one that we had to skip at the very beginning of the game.
So, speaking of obnoxious spots, that one is now available.
Yeah, and if it has anything of importance, it's very much a double required to kill Blind and then go back to the big chest.
Yeah, Blind having our mitts that led to our hammer in this seed. Mikan actually did the digging game. The problem is that it's in the chest game. So it seems like he may have forgotten about it for the moment, but he is running out of things to do, so we'll see.
Oh, Gem, unfortunately, messing up a little bit there at the beginning and not getting the quick kill on Armos. But it's not too much of an issue. You can just quickly repair that.
Gets his compass and his crystal, and then he'll mirror into Palace of Darkness, take care of Helmsword King, get that 1 item, and unless it's the book, or, well, I mean, if it's the Ice Rod, I imagine he goes to Turtle Rock and, you know, just clears that out. If it's the book, Desert. And if not, I think he is left... Well, he still has to finish Ice Palace. That's got a couple items as far as he knows, and let's see what else has items that he hasn't gone to. Well, left side, I think he's got those few items in swamp that he might still have potentially.
As soon as we're done here, Gem does have the potential of checking the Pyramid Fairy as well. Or well, after Ice Palace as well. Which is, I don't think we saw any hints about that, so that could have something.
Yeah, I don't believe we have either. Mikan getting a little close. Gonna go ahead and use that potion. Hammer the eyes here a little bit, which can be a little trickier on the small eyes than on the big. It's mostly easy on the big eye if you get them in the corner, but the little eyes, it's a lot harder to pull off. Just a few too many of them to make this easy to do.
Yeah, definitely doing a good job at the moment here to take care of the smaller eyes. Always need to keep heads up and dodge. Eyes will always try and focus on the position where you're standing, so if you're just standing still, you are eventually going to get hit, so you need to be very mobile and switch around a little bit.
He's got most of the eyes down, but he did take a lightning hit there, so he's going to have to be extra careful because he's not got a lot of hits left in him. I think he's almost to one-hit KO. Oh, but he's got the little eyes down, so here comes the easy part. Just get Vitreous in the corner, and he's good to go.
And in the meanwhile, does he have any potions left? Yeah, okay. Whew. Gem is making short work at the meanwhile here of Helmasaur. Let's see what item we get from this kill.
Alright. Not the item we're looking for, so but Mikan gets Vitreous down as well. Really nice fights. A couple bosses down. Get a simultaneous pendant / crystal grab. Neither one getting the progression they're looking for though.
Yeah, so Gem, I would imagine, either heads up to the mountain or to Ice Palace, and it looks like mountain it is. Well, I mean Ice Palace it is.
I think that Mikan might actually be about to pull the pedestal.
Yeah, looks like it. It's definitely a place that could have progression at this point.
We're just looking for that. Well, he's going south instead. I don't know if that's any faster with the hammer, but well, you can get there both ways, so whatever.
Yeah, and well, we're definitely limited in terms of where progression could be at the moment. So this is probably as hype as a ped pool could be at the moment. If it's something on the pedestal, I hope it's the book, so it's required to be a blind pull. But we're about to find out. Oh, well.
Just a boomerang that lags and also doesn't stun, so it's double bad.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Alright, so Mikan is starting to run out of things. What does he have left that he can do? Well, he's got this one obnoxious chest that he's thinking about doing. Looks like he's going to skip it for now, though, to go... Did he just think about Sanctuary, maybe?
Yeah, possibly. It's not really much that he could do in this area, and it does seem to head over to that vicinity at the moment.
The somewhat good news is that Well, never mind. It's just changed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought he did the castle already, so I'm not sure what he's doing right now.
Is this turning in the green pendant? Maybe forgetting that it could just float over to 5?
Yeah, I guess you are right. I was gonna say that the sanctuary would have been the good first place to go because he gets the fire rod, and with that access gets to the item chain that Jim's got going for him. Because the hookshot actually hasn't locked much of anything. The only thing I think we have left that's potentially hookshot locked is the big chest and swamp. Is that correct?
Yeah, that would be it.
So if that's nothing, then there's just no form of progression needed for the hookshot. It's just to get your last crystal and get across Ganon's tower. So he could be a minute before he figures out where that's at. If he might find the fire rod first.
So I think we're at this point we're down to the items left in Swamp Palace. Whether that was 1 or 2, I'm not sure. At the very least 1. We have the big chest in Thieves Town where Mikan is heading right now, and then we have the Pyramid Fairy, and I think that's about it.
Yeah, and if this big chest is the ice rod, it actually does nothing for Mikan. If it's the book, he can get into desert at least, because he is locked out of Trinex at the moment without the mirror and without without the fire rod, which leads to the mirror.
That was a very impressive fight when Jam on Coldster just destroyed that boss fight.
Right, so we may be getting some Pyramid Fairy action soon on Jim's side, because he does have both of those crystals now.
So big chest of Thieves Town has a sword. We could have needed that sword a bit earlier.
So that's the third of our 4 swords. There are still 4 swords placed in hard, so there is another one floating around somewhere. But that might be a sword Jim never gets if he finds the ice rod or the book first.
Yeah, and Mikan, I think that was basically the last good opportunity Mikan would have to remember to just head into... Oh, we never saw Spike Cave, did we?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Such a late hammer.
This is actually a not obnoxious option that they have left.
So, the Fairy of Unknown Mass will have 2 items for us, or 2 chests at the very least. What will it be? There's the ice rod. There's the book.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Oh,
well, that's Gomo then.
That is hilarious. It's also great news for Jim. It's also bad news for Mikan, because that is at the end of an item chain that he is fully locked out of right now. Because at this point, he needs the fire rod to get to the mirror, to get to the bow in Turtle Rock, which will lead him to the 5-6 crystals for Pyramid Fairy, to the ice rod and book.
Yeah, that's...
So, wow. Well, I mean, the ice rod and the book being both basically ice rods in this game, I guess it's appropriate that they were together.
Oh, and there's the hammer hint. It was available to us this entire time. In the dev cave, which you very rarely see. You see it sometimes in inverted if you happen to have the ice rod, or the if you happen to have the mirror going over to ice rod cave, but that's about it. And Mikan right now has exhausted really all options and know that something must have been skipped somewhere.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think he'll realize that he skipped 2 things. So if he finds the hook shot first, then actually the hook shot really doesn't give him anything at all. So if he doesn't, if he finds the hook shot first, then he'll still know that he's locked out.
Yeah, that would probably be for the best to find the hook shot first.
Yeah, if he finds the fire rod first, he's going to have a long chain of things that he can do that are going to lead him further away from the hook shot.
Yeah, and in the meanwhile, Gem is in full-blown go mode right now, so is not really gonna stop and check for much of anything. Might still be on the lookout for a sword, so might grab some chest that happens to just be on the way. But that's about it.
Yeah, we do still have a 4th sword somewhere. He's not going to get the one in Thieves Town, obviously, but he does have the possibility of finding it in Ganon's Tower or something like that. Okay, Mikan is double checking stuff, maybe? I'm not sure. He might just be starting a general double check right now because he is missing.
Checking Bumper Cave, although no mirror, so would not be able to do Bumper Cave anyways. No cape as well, yeah. But cape is accessible to Mikan.
Alright, not sure what he's going to check now.
Might be going up and clearing out Agate Tower while thinking about what could be missing.
Yeah, that is a few minutes you can keep, use to gather your thoughts, because it's basically just there's no items to look for. It's just something he's got to do anyway, so seems like a good time.
It looks like Gem. Oh, never mind. I was like, why is Gem gonna pull the pedestal? But no, he's just gonna mirror here to do skull with stuff. It makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, Fire Rod is in Sanctuary, which leads to the Mirror in Turtle Rock, because he's currently key locked out of Turtle Rock, which leads to the Bow in Turtle Rock, which leads to the Ice Rod and the book at Pyramid Fairy. That's the major chain that Mikan is missing. He also incidentally skipped the hookshot at Chess Game, so...
Yeah, both our runners did not have enough money to do a chess game before heading into Thieves Town. And usually you try and check everything in Outcast before heading into Thieves Town, so it makes sense that you might think that you already checked that. This will also be a hint tile for Mikan, which in his thought could bail him out, but we know that it's nothing of importance.
Yeah, Jim about to drop down into Mothula. Not too much magic. He does have Master Sword, which he's going to get a free tempered spin there. Tempered damage, level damage spin there first. It's not too bad with with Master Sword. Gets a couple hammers in, and it's just like that. He's done.
Yeah, really nice double hammer hit there. Just gonna make one final trip up the mountain, and probably gonna take care of Turtle Rock first and then head over to Hera. After Hera, you can use save and quit, and you're gonna be right at Ganon's Tower because it's in the Hyrule Castle, because of this is inverted, and Jam did beat Aga already, so it's gonna put him right there. Little bit by mistake there, jumping down from the mountain, but just activating spin speed again and heading right back up again.
Yeah, that's a pretty convenient save and quit point when you're doing all dungeons. It's having Aghanim save and quit points is pretty nice.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking on convenient, in inverted here, double dipping Turtle Rock kind of sucks, but it's definitely better when you can just go right back to Laser Bridge again. Well, actually gonna take care of her first.
Maybe he forgot the save and quit thing. I mean, it's not too far away from any given portal anyway, so. Alright, Aghanim goes down for Mikan, and now we're gonna have to see what it is that he does, because he is pretty out of options right now.
Yeah, did a save and quit up the mountain. That does not bode well.
Oh yeah, chat pointing out that Jim still has to mirror the laser bridge, so I guess either way he's kind of in a pickle as to what the best way to go about being in the light world at the end. Alright, not really sure where Mikan's going. Looks like he's going to use the portal on top of Turtle Rock, but he already did
It might be checking Mimikay. We did get a hint about that, but maybe Mikan is thinking they could have misread the hint or something.
Yeah, potentially. He did get all the other items over here, so yeah, I think he's just double checking to be sure.
Yeah, I think this was just arrows, if the hint was to be believed, which it should be, yeah. So yeah, show some frustration, and I don't blame them. This is one of the most terrible spots you can be in when playing Randomizer, when you know something is missing, but you have no idea what you could have skipped.
Yeah, this is usually when you start to break out a map tracker and, you know, mentally check things off. Which he may be doing right now. He's, kind of chilling there. He knows it's approaching the 2-hour mark. He hasn't seen a dot done, but we're coming up on the time that a lot of seeds get finished, so he's probably starting to sweat it a little bit, unfortunately. Jim gets his third pendant and Tower of Hair down. Then he's got a quick hop over to Turtle Rock and to defeat his last boss before he goes into Ganon's Tower. And then I guess we can talk about keys after that.
So Jam is gonna head in here through Laser Bridge, and this will be the last dungeon except for Ganon's Tower. We're gonna... Do we start the big key guessing game as they go into the boss fight? Because this is gonna be a super fast trip over to...
Yeah, that's probably the best idea.
And speaking of, yeah, Gem is soon gonna have 7 crystals, which means they will have to search for the big key in Ganon's Tower. There's 22 locations in Ganon's Tower that could have the big key, so if you want to take a guess on where it is, this would be the opportunity to do so.
I'm gonna say chest. What do we think today? I'm gonna say 8.
Yeah. I just put 19 in. I have no idea which chest I think it's gonna be in, so I just took a random number.
Alright, Jim going after Trinex with the hammer. It's tempered sword damage, so it's just 5 hits each. Now he's into the final phase. Looks like Mikan is going towards the fire rod.
Yeah, looks like it. It's gonna be too little too late at this point, but finally gets that fire rod at the very least.
This does lead him down the path that he needs to get his items. Mirror in Turtle Rock, bow in Turtle Rock, and that leads to the hook shot, or the ice rod and the book in the Pyramid Fairy. That does also leave him isolating the hook shot still in the chess game, though.
Yeah.
But he is making some progress.
Unfortunate point that the hookshot will still be missing, even after getting all of those items from this chest queen.
Alright, Jim is entering Ganon's Tower, so now we can stop the game and see who is our winner.
Well, if you guess one or two, I'm afraid you're not the winner today. Got the mushroom and a small key. Small key meaning we can go to the right side if we want to. Looks like Gem wants to do that, so we'll see what the compass room has in store for us.
Yeah, Jim still is potentially looking for a 4th sword. Or a 3rd sword. We know there's a 4th sword somewhere. He missed the one in Thieves Town, but he never had a real reason to go back in there. 4th one could just be in here somewhere.
Yeah, looks pretty likely at this point, really. Looks like number 4 was the big key. So that's a very early one for Gem to pick up there.
Yeah, I was half right. Congratulations to Wrath9. You win Twitch Chat's appreciation.
Yeah, GG's.
And Jim's starting on his gauntlet climb while Mikan is heading to the back of Turtle Rock towards that mirror. Gonna go ahead and take this safety door for some magic and a little bit of health upgrade. Not a bad idea before the gauntlets.
Yeah, better safe than sorry at this point. making some good work here in the gauntlet. Doing some combination of arrows and the Master Sword. Take down the enemies.
Yeah, so far having a pretty clean gauntlet. Gonna hit Landmo's 2 here. He's got a full magic bar for the fire rod. Takes 6 shots if you don't miss any. Looks like he missed 1. Has just enough magic left over to do the things he needs to do up here, though.
Yeah, also picking up a small magic here to get some refund from missing that. Now, Mikan did pick up the mirror from Turtle Rock and could not continue because of running out of keys. Using the portal though, so probably gonna head into the back of Turtle Rock straight away.
Well, I think he's got the hint that there was something sharp in Turtle Rock. So he knows there's a sword floating around there somewhere. Jim going through this first torch puzzle here, using the lamp to conserve a little magic.
Oh, I
not
did forget
lighting
to
the
light
short,
one though. Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
Does he have a potion with magic?
I'm not sure.
He's gonna run out of magic here otherwise. Oh no.
Oh wow. Oh
that's
wow.
very unfortunate.
Oh. That hurts a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the gauntlet a second time. Unfortunately for Mikan, it's not gonna be enough time for them to catch up. Something a lot more catastrophic would probably need to happen at this point.
I think he was trying to think of somewhere in the tower to farm magic, and forgot that there's a full magic refill in that fairy room that you could bonk to. Nice demonstration of fake powder though, while he didn't have any magic to use.
So we can now picking up the boat well.
There you go. He's on the path to get most of the items. That hook shot though, still going to be a little bit of a problem. Alright, Jim's getting a magic refill again. Gonna have to go back through the gauntlets. And he's just gonna have to watch his magic a little more carefully this time. He did just get to practice gauntlet a couple minutes ago though, so
yeah.
It has the potential to have a
runs
nice
out of arrows, but then picks up some from that pot as well. And there is some, yeah, just ignoring that one. But there is some more arrow drops on the way up in the tower as well. So probably not gonna have to worry about not having arrows on Ganon.
Well, he's out of arrows again, so he's definitely going to have to go for those pots. And unless there's a third sword upstairs, it looks like he's, not going to have it tempered.
Yeah, definitely looks like that at the moment. Did get the one cycle here on Lanmola's and not missing a single shot, so it does have more magic this time around.
He does have 4 more potential spots he can check for the sword at least. Sometimes upstairs GT comes through for us.
Yeah, could be. And if not, at the very least, they do have the silvers, which will make part of the Ganon fight a lot more easier, at least.
Oh, missing that torch, but using the lamp, he's still got enough magic, so he's fine. Alright, coming up on the mini Helmosaur room. First couple of potential chests for a sword.
Well, it's red, but not the one he was hoping for.
Jim's setting up to do some fake powder again.
Yeah, it seems like a good idea. Wanna make sure to have as much health as possible here, especially if you're gonna do a Master Sword fight. This being hard mode though, only gets a heart from it. And picking up that arrow pot, that's good. Don't want to go into the Ganon fight with one arrow.
Yeah, he's already had a couple of ridiculous fights, so no reason to make it harder on himself.
Getting Moldrum into the fast phase here, but getting it all done anyways. Switching to the hookshot is not gonna go for the swag hover that could, you know, if you're unlucky, you might have to try that multiple times.
Alright, no sword, so we are looking at Master Sword Ganon, which is 12. How many spins is it again? It's I know it's 52 overall. 24 of those are for the last phase, so it's 12 and 4. Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds correct to me. Guess I get 2 down, so it's just really Ganon left at this point. Meanwhile, Mikan is heading through House of Darkness. Did never do the potion glitch, so had all of this unlocked by the bow, but there's not really... Well, I guess Pod is the answer, because that does open up the Pyramid Fairy.
Well, it's one of the answers he's seeking, but he does need 2 answers in this particular case. Jim getting a nice double hit.
Yeah. Using the weapon of choice from Ganon against him.
Yeah, so far that's 3 doubles. Jim's doing a pretty good job with the doubles today. Already into phase 2, which is the most obnoxious phase no matter what setup you have.
Nice use of the hookshot there to avoid taking damage from the fire bats. Unfortunately, lost his charge of the Master Sword spin there, so only got 1 spin in. Ooh, gonna have to be really careful now. Don't have any potions, so you don't really have... Can't really afford to take any damage whatsoever anymore now.
Well, he is in phase 4, so or 3, so he's getting there. As long as he can avoid the fire bats spitting out, he should be okay.
Yeah, and that's That's all of those 4 phases or 4 hits done with. So getting almost got a double there, but ended up being a single hit. So needs 3 more hits. Oh, getting sniped again though. So it's gonna have to do all of this again.
Yeah, didn't spend too much of his magic, at least, because he got the torch glitch and didn't have a chance to relight the torches, really. So he still got most of a bar, too. So I guess that's the silver lining.
Mikan gets Helm Sword down. And Gem is starting this fight once again here. Also, Gem went into the first fight with only 5 arrows. Did miss one of the arrows and hit Ganon with the second one. So meaning that Gem now only has 3 arrows. So it's gonna have to do some silverlets hits as well to get this done.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. It's not going to be the full 24, but I actually don't know how many it would be because I'm not used to seeing partial silverless.
Well, it should be 6 hits with the silverless.
All right, back into phase 3. Mikan, meanwhile, on his way to kill the Armos Knights.
And Gem is definitely making sure to get the torch glitch this time around. Probably realize that they're gonna have to do at the very least some silverless hits in here. Ooh, and living dangerously again here now.
Yeah, can't get hit anymore, but he does have to go ahead and do silverless now.
That's 1. One more of these triple spins should be enough. Oh, actually missing that one. So it's gonna have to light the torch once again. And 1 more should do it. And there Ganon goes down. So GG's and well played to Gem. This was a really interesting stage. It kind of forced him to do that early blind fight, which is really obnoxious in and of itself, and then the item placement did just not work in anyone's favor today.
Yeah, so Jim finishing with an official SRL time of 2:13:12, and we can go ahead and tell you that Mikan did forfeit, so we'll try to get both of these guys in here.
Yeah, I can't blame them at all after this unfortunate series of events. Well played to both runners, nonetheless. So we're joined by Mikan.
What's up? How are you guys doing?
Yeah,
I'm gonna interview you because you probably did a lot more than I did.
You shouldn't be too hard on yourself. It happens when you miss locations. It's part of rando, and it's unfortunate, but it does happen to everyone.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised. This is my second inverted I've ever played.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was. I don't understand its inclusion in the tournament, but that's another conversation. I just think it's entirely too arbitrary and a great tournament mode for, you know, racing. But that's no, I expected the checks that you just do automatically when you're playing a normal game that you've been playing for an entire year or more. And then you have this mode where those checks suddenly aren't automatic, like the chest game that I know I missed, and Sanctuary.
Yeah, the Sanctuary chest is one of the trickier ones since you are not going to spawn there, so you have to find a way to work that in. And if it has anything, you know, anything that you need, and you don't just go there almost right away, you can tend to isolate it for a while. This was a pretty brutal seed overall. Hard mode inverted can be a little sticky. You guys had to go through 3 hearts Kane and Samaria blind to start with to get your progression. That was a little bit of a sticky fight.
Oh yeah, whatever. I mean, man, I can't believe I've had to do that in half of my inverted seeds I've ever played. It's so many.
Yeah, with so few items, locations to check early on, can definitely force you into some of the what normally would be some of the later boss fights straight away.
I mean, I would have been fine with the sword had I had just gone down and saved the maiden again, so I could have started the fight normally.
Yeah.
One thing I don't like about the start inverted, which is apparently where a lot of bull happened, is that it feels really reliant on, like, if a player doesn't get a 20 rupee drop. I didn't have any of those. So, I mean, it would have been easy just to check the chess game after leaving Thieves Town, sure, but that's like the mindset of, oh, well, you always do the chess game before Thieves Town, so why would you think about going to it afterwards? Right, so if someone gets like the lucky 20 rupee drop, well, there's your arrow game money, and suddenly you have infinite rupees to do whatever you want with. I don't know, it's just crap I think about because I actually really dislike this mode.
One of the things you can do early if you are struggling for rupees, for those that don't know, is there are actually, I believe, 30 rupees in the Thieves Town front. You have to go around to some of the pots, go through some of the bomb walls, I believe, but if you're pretty starved for cash, you have that going for you at least.
I don't know, it's just the entire mindset of the mode is just completely different than normal, which is why I can't stand it. I mean, I only had to play one inverted my entire group stages, which is probably why I did so well. If I had to play more, there was no reason for me to have advanced to groups, which, if you can believe it, I am.
Yeah, you and Jim both locked in for brackets, your top 2 seeds of your group, so GG on that. And
yeah,
GG.
thanks. I hope everyone enjoyed this Let's Play. You can tune in for part 2 later, because I only finished about half of it today.
Yeah. Well, it was also like not only missing a chest, but this seed in it of itself was kind of rude as well.
Well, GG to both runners. Put on a great show. Follow these guys. They were pretty entertaining today. And follow our my co-com here, Walter, and our tracker Link Force. Thanks for helping out. And be sure to follow all of the speed gaming channels, 1 through 6. French, German, and Spanish. There's lots of rando still coming up. Check your schedules. There's a few more matches today. Any final thoughts?
Not that I can say on air. Thanks, guys. Thanks for doing the commentary, even if it was kind of a bust. But I'm gonna head out. See you guys later.
Yeah.
All right, GT,
Good luck in the brackets.
All right, so with that, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks for joining us, chat, and have a great day.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.